Hey, whippersnappers, this is Tortimer the Great. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Subday battles. Today we are starting off with Skeds Battle because Sked is the one who suggested the Mono-type battle challenge to us. And so he leads us off today with his Ghost-type team. And it's a very cool Ghost-type team. He led off with his Golurk, and now his Cofagrigus comes in on the Mineshoe. He's going to get up that Will-O-Wisp. And that Will-O-Wisp is going to be pretty detrimental to the Mineshoe. Can barely do anything, even with the super effective mood now. And Cofagrigus is going to set up the Trick Room, allowing him to hit first and take out the Mineshoe. So that works out very nicely. When the Heracross comes in, Sked switches into his Sableye, who's going to get Toxic. But Sableye is a good utility mover here, so he's going to be able to get the Will-O-Wisp up on the Heracross as the Heracross bulks up. Which is going to be good for Sked. Otherwise, a bulk-up Mega Heracross could have been very, very scary for him. And he is going to still be scary enough to take out the Sableye. So Gengar's going to come in, force out the Heracross, and Fernape's going to take the Shadow Ball, and two of them actually, and going to go down. So that works out very nicely. Then the Pangoro comes in. Sked's going to bring back in Cofagrigus, and as Pangoro sets up the bulk up and the Dark Pulse, which is going to crit and take Cofagrigus down. At that point, Sked brings Dana, his Gengar, back in, and it's going to Dazzling Gleam the Pangoro into oblivion, at which point Hawlucha comes in, forces out the Gengar, and brings in the Jellicent, and Jellicent's going to take some moves, but then going to deal it right back to the Chestnut here, and he's going to do some good damage, but then he's going to switch out, bring in Willow, his Trevenant, and Willow's going to take the Wood Hammer from the Chestnut, no problem. But then the Heracross comes in. Heracross is going to take that Shadow Claw, get some burn damage, but then I'm guessing... Oh, wow, Heracross goes for the Toxic as opposed to doing anything seriously detrimental to Willow. So that works out very, very nicely for Sked. Heracross is going to switch out, which is a bit of a strange move. Because now Heracross is just death fodder. There's nothing he can really do with that. He probably should have left that in. Not that it matters a ton to him, I guess, because he can just roost up the Hawlucha. Chestnut comes back in to take the Ice Beam, so not a great move on his part for that. And then Heracross comes in, dies to the rocks. Hawlucha's going to come in, take a little bit of rocks damage, but get a punch off on the Jellicent, which Jellicent is immune to, and then he's going to forfeit on the last turn. So a very interesting team from both of these guys, actually. It looks like, well, yeah, Sked was actually in the Mono-type tier, which nobody else did. Everyone else did Mono-type teams, but Sked's the only one who did Mono-type tier. And so his Ghost-type team up against a Fighting-type team. Cool teams from both of these guys. And Sked, thank you so much for your submission. Very cool little team you put together there. Nice to see these guys doing work for us. And again, thank you for the challenge that you gave us this week. So let's jump into the next one, shall we? Alright guys, here we go with battle number 2. This is Gaming Logic UHC's battle, and he went for the normal type, which this is a very cool little normal typed team here. Led off with his Pyroar, but is going to switch that out, bring in the Kecleon, who's going to take a hard Brick Break from the Aegis Slash before he gets the knockoff off and takes Aegis Slash out of the game. And Kecleon's then going to take a Drain Punch, which... whether he was dark or normal type, that thing's going to be super effective, so no real harm done there. And then Mega Pidgeot actually is going to come in against the Scrafty, get the Hurricane off, and take Scrafty off the field. A very good play there. Then they bring in the Conkeldurr, which forces out the Mega Pidgeot, probably, I would assume, worried by some sort of rock move, but he just has fighting stuff going on here, and so Porygon's able to tank that pretty well, especially with the recover there. And the Hammer Arm misses, which leaves Porygon 2 open to start throwing up some Psychics and other things there on a turn where he doesn't have to heal back the damage. Rhyperior is going to come in and take the second Psychic, which saves Conkeldurr's life for now, but in the end is going to leave Rhyperior open for some Ice Beams, which he didn't know were there, and going to do some serious damage to him. Conkeldurr comes back in at that point. Porygon 2 is going to heal, and then Conkeldurr is going to go down to the Psychic finally. Charizard comes in, Mega Evolves as he's ought to do, and throws up the Sword Dance before Porygon 2 is going to get that Thunder Wave up, which obviously comes into play right there, giving him some reprieve there on a turn where the Charizard's not able to get a move off. At this point, Porygon 2 doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot against the Charizard, but he's... Sky dropped. This will potentially... he hit even well up in the air. That must just be a visual glitch. I'm not exactly sure what's happening there. Maybe I don't know how Skydrop works. There we go. Back on the field. And he's going to take that Ice Beam to the Gliscor, which is going to kill one shot. So that works out very nicely for him. Sorry, my puppy is wandering. And so then Rhyperior is going to come in, take an Ice Beam on the last turn, and go down to the Porygon 2. So a cool little normal team. Game & Logic didn't even have to use Blissey or... Minchino, so a good team there. He was able to do some work. So yeah, let's check out what the other of you guys have submitted for this week. Thank you so much for your submission, Game & Logic. Let's check it out. Alright guys, here we go with Thunder Rainbow submission for this week, and Thunder had an electric type team going for him. Very cool little setup. He's got the Rotom Wash set up here, which is a pretty common one in the OU tier. And so it's going to be doing some good work for him, getting the Will-O-Wisp up, knocking down the Conkeldurr a fair bit, but not enough to take him out. Rotom Wash is going to go down. Well, actually, no, there he goes. He does to burn damage. So good job, Rotom Wash, taking that guy out. Mars is going to throw up the Volt Switch, which will pop Heatran's Balloon and allow Ellen, the Lampent? Is that thing called Lampent? I think so. Letting Lampent come in before he's roared out into Mars, which is going to then finish off the Heatran. Rafiki, that's fun. Raikou comes in against the Ferrothorn, and despite the Protect, he's going to keep throwing up Protects. He knows he's got nothing, but the Hidden Power actually isn't super effective. I'm not sure what Hidden Power he's running on Rafiki, but... probably Ice type, I would guess, which Steel must resist, so makes it neutral. Mars comes back in at that point when Rafiki's not doing a whole lot, and Ferrothorn's going to keep protecting and all that nonsense, just kind of stalling things out, getting a little bit of health back, and then Mars comes back in, probably with the Hidden Power Fire, and is able to take out Ferrothorn for him. Then Rafiki's back in against the Gengar, and Rafiki's going to throw up the Shadow Ball, which will break the sub, but Gengar throws the Shadow Ball right back. Rafiki survives it, though, and is able to land a good Shadow Ball, which put Gengar in the danger zone, but not close enough for Rafiki to kill it before going down. But Megan's going to come in at this point, and Mega Evolve. There we go. Mega Magnet Trick doing work, and get that Thunderbolt off on the Gengar, taking him down. The shiny Sneasel comes in. Very nice, very nice. And up against Mega Man Trick, the Flamethrower going to do good work. Almost one shot, and then the 2-hit KO there without Megan having to take a whole lot of damage. The Volt Switch hits off against the Jellicent, which will bring in Zapdos for the first time this battle. Zapdos is going to take a Toxic, and then we are going to probably see a nice Thunderbolt there to finish off the Jellicent. So very cool. Thank you so much for your battle, Thunder. A nice little team you put together for us. And my dog is getting into a bag of pens under my desk. So hey, here we go. Recording with a puppy, round 1. Thank you so much, Thunder, for your submission. Let's check out what the others of you guys submitted this week. Alrighty. Alright guys, here we go with Debtless Lime's submission for this week. Thank you again for your continued support on this series, bud. And he goes with a Water Mono type team, so we're getting some nice variety from you guys this week. He led off with his Surskit, got the Sticky Web up, which is always a pain when I'm up against it, so that's a good move on his part. Then he brings in what I can only assume is an Eviolite Marill, because otherwise why use Marill? But Surskit's going to come in, go down, then Seismitoad comes in. It's going to take the Sky Attack from the Crobat, flinch, but not take too terribly much damage. He can certainly withstand a hit or two from the Crobat. Gets those Stealth Rocks up, which is going to be useful, I'm sure, before the Seismitoad goes down. So he's lost a couple of early teammates here, but Politoed is always a powerhouse when he's on the field. So he comes in, sets up the Rain with Drizzle, and gets the Scald up. There he goes, resting to restore his health and his status. So that works out very nicely, but the Whirlwind will bring in the Feraligatr. who's going to take that Poison Fang and get badly poisoned as well, so he's got pretty good rates on that Poison Fang there. Feraligatr is going to set up with the Dragon Dance and get rid of the Crobat. So finally one of the other team's guys are down. At this point the Breloom comes in, and speed gets lowered by the Sticky Web, but the Mach Punch is unaffected, so the Feraligatr is going to take a hard hit before knocking out the I almost said the Toadette, the Breloom with a Waterfall. Bisharp at this point comes in, speed lowered, but attack raised, and the priority is going to let him take out the Feraligatr, even with the lowered speed, before Mega Blastoise comes in with the Aurora Sphere and takes him out. So bye-bye Bisharp, Mega Blastoise doing work. So at this point, Meryl comes back in. It's got the Sap Sippers. Oh yeah, Sap Sipper. All right, well, good for Meryl. I'm going to take that Leaf Storm and then going to hit against the Manaphy there. Or Manaphy. Mega Blastoise comes in as Manaphy sets up with the Tail Glow, which could be worrisome. These things often carry Energy Ball. But no, he's throwing up the Shadow Ball. Alright, well, Mega Blastoise is going to shrug that off a little bit, throw up another Dark Pulse, and take out the Manaphy. So, good work, Mega Blastoise, once again. Garchomp going to get stuck in that web, but he's still going to outspeed Blastoise because, you know, he's a turtle. And Blastoise gets the super effective Dragon Pulse up to take out the Garchomp. So now they're just down to the Superior. The Hidden Power is not very effective. The Dark Pulse does reasonable damage, and Blastoise is going to go down to the last Hidden Power there. At which point Meryl comes in. The Hidden Power is not very effective, but it's better than Sap Sipper, so able to get the Superpower off and take down the Superior. So a great little team put together here by Debtless Lime. Thank you so much again for your submission. Really do appreciate the continued support everybody's been giving this series lately. I guess I just need to threaten to cancel the series and you guys jump back on board. So thank you guys so much for watching Debtless Lime submission, and we've got 2 more for you guys today, so let's jump into those and then we'll call it a day. Alrighty guys, here we go. Alright guys, here we go with Octave18 or Yash's attempt, and he's got a monotype grass team for us here. So he leads off with his Executor, gets the Trick Room up to be able to outspeed the Sceptile, and is going to throw up some hard-hitting Poison-type moves before finishing him off with a Psychic. So that works out very nicely. Executor is then going to get the extra sensory up off the Crobat, but the Crobat survives it enough to get the Brave Bird going to take out the Executor there before going down to his own Recoil. Credilli then comes in and is going to face off against a Jolteon, and Credilli is going to take a Volt Switch from that Jolteon. Okay, buddy, you gotta quit squirming. Sorry, puppy. Credilli gets the Toxic up on the Cloyster. Gonna take some of that damage before the Icicle Spear is gonna come and hit real hard on the Credilli. Credilli is not gonna survive that. Very rarely does somebody do so, especially when there's a super effective nature involved. Ludicolo comes in at that point, gonna take those Icicle Spears as well. Looks like he is going to just survive it, and he's going to miss the Focus Blast, which is disappointing. But the toxic damage continues to tick down on Cloyster. At which point Superior is going to come in. The Leaf Storm is also going to miss. That's a hard thing to take, as Superior also goes down to the OP Cloyster. Alright, so at this point, Cloyster is very close to death. Leafeon's going to come in with the knockoff, finally finish off that devastating Behemoth who has been ripping through Octave's team here, and going to get the knockoff on the Shuckle, which will remove Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf? Interesting. Oh no, Leafeon had Choice Scarf. I don't know what Shuckle lost. So at this point, Leafeon's going to continue to throw some things up at the Shuckle, hitting it with Seed Bombs and other moves, just trying to knock away at its devastating defenses. Eventually, the Toxic does that for it. Leafeon then has to face off against the Lucario. The knockoff doesn't do a ton, but it does remove the Life Orb, which will be useful. And then Breloom's going to be able to come in, probably get a Mach Punch off here or something just to get rid of the Lucario. Not Mach Punch, but goes for the Spore. All right. Being smart about it, I guess. And getting, there we go, the Drain Punch, which will KO the Lucario. So very nice. Down 2-1 here. Breloom and Evolution versus Evolution, and the Spore is going to put that Jolteon to sleep, which will work out very nicely, and then the Leech Seed goes up to help tick away at the Jolteon's health. Very, very nice. Jolteon gets that Volt Switch off, but Breloom kind of shrugs that off, throws up the Seed Bomb, which does pretty good damage. And Breloom just continues to heal back up, and from the Toxic Heal and the Leech Seed, gets the Seed Bomb up one more time and takes out the Jolteon. So Octave wins his battle with his Mono-type Grass team. Thank you so much for your submission, buddy. And now we just have my battle remaining, so let's check that out, shall we? Here we go. Alright guys, here we go with my battle for the week, and I did a Mono-type Ground team. You guys may recognize many of these guys from, well, all of these guys from my Decimon Ground gym. I just had so much fun building that team that when I heard Mono-type, it's like, you know what, I want to recreate these guys in Showdown. I think this could be a fun team to play around with. So, I led off with Gaia there. I went ahead and got, let's see, I went for the Stone Edge on the Abra because I was worried about the Magic Guard. Didn't want to set up stones on myself, so I didn't end up using that, but was able to kill the Abra, at which point they brought in Chompy, and I switched into Khan, who ended up not surviving real long against Chompy. Chompy ended up being kind of a beast. Fidget then comes in, and Chompy's going to be taking some Ice Fangs and stuff from Fidget, but the Chompy is just too strong, man. He is doing some damage. So even Fidget here is not going to be able to outlast him for long, and then the super effective Horn Leech is going to take Fidget down. So that's disappointing, but then Tyrant's able to come in with the Fire Blast, so the boosted defenses are not going to matter as much, and we are going to be able to land another one here as the toxic damage ticks down on that, but the one we throw up is going to land on Barney, which is going to end up being their Mega Audino, and Mega Audino is going to kind of scoff at us here, throwing up the Calm Minds to boost its special defenses as Tyrant continues to try to just kill this stupid thing. At which point the rest happens. I'm like, alright, I'm getting out of here. I bring in Thwomp Jr., Thwomp Jr. is a Mega Swampert on this team, so he Mega Evolves, and I threw up the Earthquake. Doesn't do quite as much as I would like, because obviously Audino has huge HP and defenses, so at that point I set up the Rain Dance, and then I go for the Waterfall. So the Rain Dance boosted Waterfall seems to be doing a little bit better for us, and the next one is going to be enough to take out the Mega Audino. So that works out very nicely. Chompy then comes in, but we have Swift Swim, so we're faster, and we have Ice Punch, so Chompy is going to go down before he can set up some stuff. Then Shiny Metapod comes in. He's going to set up some defenses, but it's not going to be enough, and Thwomp Jr. is going to take him down. Then the Ursaring comes in, throws up the Protect, which is fine because I was setting up the Rain Dance anyway. He has the Guts, so the Burn is going to go ahead and boost that Facade. Well, Guts has nothing to do with that. Burn boosts the Facade, and that's going to give him enough to take out Thwomp Jr., at which point he then dies to burn damage, and I'm going to bring Bandit in to take on their final Pokemon. So yeah, there we go. That was my ground team. So for next week, I guess I should have stopped a second ago and started talking about this, but for next week, Sked has recommended, once again, he gave us a challenge, which you guys, the rest of you guys are welcome to give us challenges too. I don't want this to all fall on Sked's shoulders, but he has recommended that we take a look at the other metagame tier of Cap, which is the Create a Pokemon tier, and this is a project that Smogon has been running for quite some time. It's something I used to actually follow quite closely back in the day. I haven't really followed it quite as closely lately, but Smogon they look so closely at the metagame that they find holes where certain Pokemon could, like, if a Pokemon existed to fit this niche, it could be really effective. And so they look at those holes, whatever it may be, and they develop a Pokemon, you know, a fake mon, I guess is what it would really be, to fit that niche. And then in the Create a Pokemon tier, you can use these you know, create Pokemon that Smogon has created to fit different niches on your team in the simulator to battle. So there'll be a link down in the description down below to give you guys a list of all of the Cap Pokemon that they have created, and you guys can either create a team of pure Cap Pokemon, or not. You can mix and match if you would like. At least I'm pretty sure you can in that tier. That would be the point of the tier, because they wanted these to fit in with the existing metagames. So they've got them ranging back to like Gen 4, I think, is when they started doing it. But yeah, so you guys can take a look at that list. The main requirement for this is obviously you have to be in the other metagame tier of Cap, create a Pokemon, and I want you to have at least two Smogon created Pokemon on your team. So you don't have to. You can use more, but you cannot use less. I probably will try and use majority cat Pokemon just because I think they're cool and I want to play around with them, something new to play around with. But at minimum, 2 capped Pokemon on your team for this week's challenge. Alrighty guys, make sure you get your submissions in, and I will see you all next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave those likes, comments, and subscriptions for me, and I will see you guys next week with more Subday challenges. Alright guys, have a good one.